everyone. So today I'm going to be doing a product review of the bikepacking bags by Restrap. It's their Carry Everything range, which is the main bags that they have in their series. I'm just going to talk about how I found them over the last year to see if they're the right bags for you. Let's take a look. So first up, I'm going to look at the bar bag. So this, as the name suggests, attaches to your handlebars, and I found it is a really useful place to put those lighter items you'll be carrying when you're camping, such as your sleeping bag, your roll mat, and changes of clothes, as it's nice and light, and when it's on the handlebars it won't affect the handling of your bike. So the bar bag attaches via these two little straps here up on the handlebars, as you can see. They've been really secure throughout, going down some pretty rough roads on the gravel bike, even when fully loaded with quite a lot of equipment. There's little foam spacers there just to keep them away from the handlebars at a nice little distance. And I've never had a problem with them coming loose. I know some of the reviews say there's been a problem in the past, but personally I've not found this an issue. Recently Restrap have also changes to these little cam locks buckles, so that problem should even be less of a thing. One thing I would say, after you've initially tightened it and you've gone for a little bit of a ride, they sometimes need retightening again. It's just as everything settles, but after that second time I've had no issues with the bag being loose. So the bar bag holster attaches to the forks as well as onto the handlebars, and it's just these little straps loop back around underneath the fork and back onto the bag itself, and that's on both sides of the fork. And they just keep the bag nice and snug to the front of the bike and stops it flapping around. Like the rest of the straps, I've not had any problems with these coming loose. They're nice and secure and really do a good job of holding the bag in place. The dry bag is held in place by these little straps that loop around and click in either side here, and you can tighten those nice and firmly. Again, like the top straps, they do kind of settle a little bit after you've ridden for a little while. So may need a little bit of retightening after a couple miles, but then once that's done, they're nice and secure for the rest of the ride. So this is the food pouch. You don't have to have it on the bar bag itself all the time, but it's a great little bit of extra storage. I think it adds about 3 litres of additional storage to your bar bag. What I really like about it is this great magnetic fixtures you see there, and they simply slot in like this and click down, and then the bag's in place. It's also got this really little useful bit of paracord on the front with a little toggle. I find it's really great for popping a jacket underneath, say. So if you've got changeable conditions, you can quickly stuff your jacket in there. If the sun comes out and you warm up, cinch it down, and it's really nice and secure. And again, if the rain starts again, you've got it easy to hand to put back on. So the only issue I did find with the food pouch was that it wasn't 100% waterproof. Now, Restrap are very clear with this on their website, because although the fabric itself is waterproof, the zip can allow water in, even though it is this nice kind of rubbery material here. So I did put it to the test in some really intense prolonged rain. Did get slightly damp inside, but it certainly wasn't swimming with water. More importantly though, the dry bag that is in there is, I can definitely say, 100% waterproof. As I previously mentioned, I put it through some pretty intense downpours across Salisbury Plain, which is particularly challenging, but I got back to the campsite and I had my sleeping bag in here and my roll mat. Something you definitely don't want to find that's going to be wet at the end of a hard day, especially when you're soaking through as well. And yeah, taken out of the bag, there was not a drop of water on there, so this thing definitely stands up to the test. So the only negative thing I can find with this dry bag holster system is there does need to be a minimum amount of packing and stuff inside the dry bags before they can actually fit into the holster, just to give it this nice cylindrical shape that when it's in the holster it can be strapped down nice and securely. But this comes down to how you pack your bags, so I didn't find an issue myself, but it's just something to be aware of. There is kind of a minimum fill limit, I would say. So like the bar bag, Restrap have done a really good job at making sure the saddle pack is really secure on the bike. The straps are all very, very heavy duty, and I've taken this bike down some pretty rough trails, bordering into mountain bike territory if I'm honest, and I've never had an issue with the straps coming loose. The only thing that I have noticed is that when the bag is more loaded, it can become quite long. The dry bag can sort of stick out to about here. So there can be a little bit of tail waggle and sort of it swinging side to side. And this only becomes apparent if you start trying to stand up and sprint on the bike. from what I can gather, this is not a problem that's solely related to Restrap. Most saddle packs will have this tail waggle if you start to try and do things like sprinting and standing up and really powering whilst on the bike. But I guess if you're bike packing, you're not generally racing, so I didn't find it to be a massive issue myself. So the saddle pack uses the same holster design as the bar bag, and I love it for exactly the same reasons. It's just so easy. When you get to your campsite, your hotel room, just take everything out. You've got all your kit for the night, and you can just take it into your room, pop it in your tent, and unload it in the dry. And when it comes to the next day from loading it up, you can pack things up nicely and just stuff it back in the bag. Lock it down with this really nice little magnetic securing strap, and you're good to go. So I found the 14 litre dry bag version perfect for my needs. So I've tested this out with fitting a one-man tent inside there, and there's even been room left for some clothes, my wash kit, and a few other little bits and pieces. I've even used it to split a 3-man tent before. So if you're riding with a partner or a friend, you can break that tent down and it will easily accommodate half a tent, the larger tent in there, along with your own personal effects. Like the bar bag, the saddle pack has got exactly the same dry bag with it. It's 100% waterproof from Restrap's claim, and I can back that up. Put it through some tough conditions, and my tent and my clothes were dry at the end of the day, so I'm happy with that. The only thing I found though was that when they were fully packed, it sticks out quite a way, as I previously mentioned. So going down some quite overgrown trails with some thorns on King Alfred's Way, I did find that I put a small hole in the dry bag itself. It's tough material, but something got through. Now, the good thing is, because the holster and the bag and the dry bag are separate, instead of having to replace the entire bag, you can just replace the dry bag, and I think it only retails for around £14 from Restrap. I've just managed to patch it up, and that seems to have done the job, but it's just something to be aware of. Last up, going to look at the top tube bag and the frame bag. Now I find these are great little spaces to put those things you want to reach throughout the day on your ride. So top tube bag, great place for snacks, easy to reach. So yeah, I tend to fill this with things like my cereal bars, phone, wallet, all those things you want to get throughout the day. Then onto the frame bag. You've got plenty of space in here for larger items such as a pump, toolkit, spare in the tube, any other bits you need really. There's quite a large amount of space within the frame bag itself. Now the thing I like about the two bags is the orange line that you can see here. It just makes it really easy to see the items you're looking for, even in low light. They're highlighted against that liner. So like the food pouch, one thing to bear in mind about the top tube and the frame bag is that they're not 100% waterproof. Restrap are really clear with this on their website, to their credit. So the material itself is waterproof and is very hard wearing. However, the weak point seems to be the zip. Even though it is rubberized, water can still get through when there's like torrential downpours. So with my rides I've taken it on, it's generally been pretty good. It's only been after really prolonged periods of heavy wind and rain, some sideways rain that lasted about 4 hours. I did find there were some bits of water inside the frame bag, but overall I think it's done pretty well. It's just something to bear in mind, and worth, if you've got those things like your power bank or something like that, wrap it up in just a little Ziploc bag just to try and keep it dry. But it does generally keep the worst of everything out and wouldn't put me off from getting it in the future. So overall, I've been really impressed with these bags from Restrap. I think the thing that stands out most for me is just the quality. They're handmade in Yorkshire. They even come with like a little tag that's got the name of the person that makes it on them, which I think is kind of cool. It's a British business, handmade. You don't get that very often. Everything's generally very mass produced. So really hard wearing. The material, just everything feels quality. I really like the attachments, the Cadora. I don't know if I'm saying that right. The Cadora material is very, very nice. The zips are quality, the fastenings are quality. Everything just seems very, very well put together, and that it'll last. It even comes with a lifetime warranty, and I've seen previously old bags being sent back to Restrap zips have started to go after many, many years of use, and Restrap have repaired them. So there's sustainability there as well. So this brings me on to my only down point I can think about the bags, and that is the price. They're not cheap, they're a bit of an investment. There are cheaper bags out there on the market. However, the Restrap bags are comparable to other leading brands on the market, such as those bags from Apogera and Ortlieb. Well, that's the end of my review for the Restrap Carry Everything range. I hope you found it useful, and I hope that gives you some help when you're trying to make those decisions where you want to spend your hard-earned cash when you're making your bike packing plans this year. So if you enjoyed the review, give us a thumbs up and subscribe for the channel for more content in the future. Thanks for watching.